3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Elytra Flight's Garage. This is the first video on the channel and we're going to be talking a little bit about this right here. So you may be wondering, why is your garage such a mess? Well, that's an entirely different issue. This here, however, is the aft section of a new thing called Scrappy. So Scrappy is my attempt at a 1.4 meter wingspan foam board, completely do-it-yourself airplane, RC airplane. And the reason why I'm doing this is to sort of gain an entry into the RC plane hobby, as well as just a lot of engineering. This has been a great project to develop my skills so that I can help out with the rocketry club at my school next year in my senior year, as well as just generally doing things for once outside of school. So we have this here. The reason why this is looking like this right now is that there have actually been flights in the past with this. This has been a project going on since February of this year, and it is now late May. And the reason why it's like this is because we've had a couple crash landings. The front part of the plane, as you see here, is no longer attached because it broke off. And this is likely to be a common occurrence with Scrappy. So right now, what I'm in the process of doing is making a sacrificial 3D printed interface between the aft section, which I really don't want to break. This took about 15 hours to make, and the front part, which will be more frequently destructible. Now, before we continue, let's take a closer look at a couple of different aspects of the aft section of Scrappy. So, at the back here, we have the elevator and rudder, and these are controlled by the standard 9-gram servos that go through the fuselage. They enter right through there, and they connect with some home-built control rods there to the actual elevators. We also have some landing gear here. I stole from an earlier version of Scrappy. Those used to be the landing gear on the front, but they broke off rather catastrophically, so now one of the wheels is being used in the back. This is the wing mount where I will put some rubber bands on for the actual wings. As you see here, they are quite large, and this actually turns upside down and goes on the top of the plane right there. And this here is the new section that we are going to use as an attachment for the landing gear. As you can see here, we have the landing gear that fit directly with those, and we also have a couple new front sections that we are going to attach relatively shortly. We'll see how this goes. Now, another thing we should probably keep in mind is the sort of forces that will be applied to the plane during flight and during landing. So the reason why I'm putting so much effort into making sure the landing gear works properly is because it's undergoing the entire weight of the plane upon landing, and sometimes even more than that. Because if you have something like a nosedive or something that is really not ideal for a landing, you're going to have a ton of direct pressure directly on the interface between the landing gear and the fuselage. And this is actually what broke the landing gear last time, and the last two times, is because it could not withstand the pressure of the entire plane coming crashing down between itself and the concrete. The other issue is the stress of flight. So whenever you're flying, you have the weight of the plane balanced on the wings because you have the center of lift conflicted with gravity, and that's what keeps the plane in the air. So you have to think about how much force that's going to be and whether the wings can withstand that.